Day event. Brought to you by your North Texas GMC dealers.
They just keep on shooting, and they're not stopping.
These men and women thought we were worth it.
There has been an explosion. There are firefighters down. We have many people down. Please respond.
I know he was going to be the first one there jumping in to do what he could do. That's just how he was.
And we serve them because they serve us.
They gave a lot to protect us.
How many people do you know of that will die for somebody they don't know? And will do it without question, without hesitation.
We got to carry the load for the guys that's done this.
Carry the load. You carry the person that can no longer be there because they've lost their life.
Every day for them is Memorial Day.
He said, who are you carrying?
Who are you carrying this Memorial Day weekend? It may sound like an unusual question, but I want you to think about your answer over the next 30 minutes. Good evening, I'm John McKay. During the next half hour, we're going to introduce you to the men and women of a unique organization called Carry the Load. Their goal, restore the true meaning of Memorial Day. They want you to know this weekend is about much more than an extra day off. It's about service, service to our neighbors, our friends, total strangers, and our country. Without hesitation, people we may never know put their lives on the line for us every single day. And tonight's program is about them, the men and women who are still here with us and the ones who have left us too soon. It's their load we carry. We start tonight with Jim Douglas and the story of a retired Navy SEAL who co-founded Carry the Load.
On a peaceful day at White Rock Lake, suffering is the last thing on most people's minds. Clint Bruce isn't most people.
And what I know how to do is put on a pack and go. It's the classic military action as a road march, and I felt like I needed to walk it off.
The former Navy SEAL needed to walk off some Memorial Day anger a few years ago, to feel the pain of reconnecting with fallen friends who seem forgotten on the holiday created for them.
I've always felt that there's really only two ways to kind of create a tribe and to create this brotherhood, and it's either through long periods of time or condensed suffering.
As Bruce suffered through hour after hour beneath a heavy pack, he passed an old man who seemed to understand.
And I turned and I looked at him and he said, "Son." I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Who are you carrying?"
That's where the name Carry the Load comes from. The bigger story is where it's going. Last year, Carry the Load launched a walking relay from West Point to Dallas and invited anyone along the way to join. We walked in Arkansas with former SEAL Coleman Ruiz.
Hard as kissing your wife and kids goodbye on deployment or notifying a spouse that her husband's just been killed overseas. Challenging is what we're doing here.
Most of the time there were just a few walkers, but this year the relay is drawing a lot more. This year, the murder of Bruce's close friend, Chris Kyle, focused national attention on SEALs and sacrifice. This year, we felt the deaths of 12 volunteer firefighters in the West explosion.
And they did what they did because they felt like America was worth it. And what we're just doing is challenging America to prove it. Hey, Chris thought you were worth it. That's why he took those risks, so be worth it.
America seems to be looking for a way to show gratitude. Suddenly, thousands are stepping up to carry the load.
To go from 500 in 2011 to north of 20,000 is pretty spectacular. And what I'd say is that's encouraging. It's an encouraging thing about America.
9/11 families joined Carry the Load walkers at the site of the World Trade Center.
Carry the Load.
Good Morning America gave the movement more publicity. Clint Bruce doesn't expect everyone to walk, especially not the 20-hour march he'll lead in Dallas May 26th. He's just glad more Americans are pausing to consider the price of a peaceful day. And there's one more thing.
And now, 3 years down the road, I'm not angry anymore.
Now that so many are showing they're willing to carry just a little of the load that was carried for them.
Another day and night a few miles closer to Dallas for the men and women walking here from West Point in New York for the Carry the Load relay. 1,700 miles in 27 days. They started May 1st, and since then, working in teams, have kept up a grueling pace to raise money for service members, veterans, first responders, and their families. Now, I had the privilege to join them in Maryland, just outside the U.S. Naval Academy, and throughout this broadcast, we'll walk with them. No matter what part of the walk people choose to make, it is not easy. They feel every step. But to a person, they'll tell you, it's an honor.
In honor of the police officers, the 37 Port Authority police officers, the 23 New York City police officers, the 343 New York City firemen, and subsequent to that, all of our military.
To go walk to Arlington.
In Washington, D.C., a small group of walkers wait to join for part of the journey, carrying their own memories of friends and family who did not leave the field of battle or the scene of a rescue.
But I feel very, very strongly that we should show that we do appreciate all that the fallen and the non-fallen heroes have done in order for us to enjoy what we do enjoy.
There's no better feeling being a veteran than having somebody just say thank you for my service.
It's especially significant here in Washington, D.C. Each step through the streets, the National Mall, reminders of the nation's struggles to stay safe and sacrifices to make us free. Well, right up there, the Lincoln Memorial, they just left there. Of course, we're following behind the bus here, headed over to the one place that I can think of where they really never forget the sacrifice of veterans, and of course, that's Arlington National Cemetery. Those long lines of headstones mark the price paid to keep us safe. If the monuments in Washington made the Carry the Load walk important, this hallowed ground makes it personal.
And you walk in this cemetery and you know how many families you're connected to. Being here in Arlington is a huge honor.
Each step helps families of some of the men and women buried here, raising money for groups like Snowball Express. It works to reweave the broken fabric of families of the fallen by assisting the children of veterans who won't be coming home.
We want to make sure that the public and the rest of the United States and our citizens don't forget these men and these women and what they have done for all of us.
An emotional journey continuing tonight across America and ending this Memorial Day weekend in Dallas. From last week's tornado outbreak to the tragedy in West, the last few months have taken a toll on so many in North Texas. But for our military, our first responders, their families, every day brings a chance their lives won't ever be the same. And that's where groups like Heroes on the Water, the Assist the Officer Foundation, Friends of Dallas Fire Rescue, Tip of the Spear, and Sons of the Flagburn Foundation come in. Carry the Load benefits these nonprofits. Sacrifice and service go hand in hand, and so do decisions. The decision to put others first, and the choice to carry on through pain and heartache to achieve the resolve to start over. Jane McGarry has the story of Jacob Schick.